Several millions of Buddhists throughout the world celebrate the triple events of the Lord Buddha. The whole country has been illuminated with Vesak Pinkams. The President has urged everyone to make determinations to get guidance from Buddhism for national and religious reconciliation. Sri Lanka and Australia have agreed to prevent illegal immigration and human trafficking. The Japanese Deputy Prime Minister has assured to provide continuous assistance to Sri Lanka. And in news overseas, 9 persons have been killed by a drone attack in Pakistan. Let's take a look at the news in detail now. Today is the Vesak full moon Poya Day, which celebrates the birth, the attainment of the Buddhahood and the attainment of the Parinirvana of Gautama Buddha. In this connection, millions of Buddhists throughout the world held various Pinkam ceremonies. The Sri Sambuddhatva Jayanti special religious programs were held in temples throughout the country. The birth of the Buddha, the preaching of Dhamma by Lord Buddha, and attainment of Parinirvana is a chain of great events that take place once in several thousand years. The Lord Buddha shows the right path for human beings dipped in greed for the temporal life. The Buddhists throughout the world celebrate the Buddhist path shown by Lord Buddha with much respect. The entire country by now has become a Punya Bhumi filled with various Pinkam activities. All corners of the country have been brightened by various aspects of Pinkams related to this great day. It was also on a full moon Poya day like today that Gautama Lord Buddha visited Kimbalwatpura, made the 3rd visit to Sri Lanka and made the imprint of his foot at the peak of the Samanala Kanda. The Dhamma sermon organized on every full moon Poya day under the leadership of the President was held at the Presidential Palace in Kandy today. The National Rupavahini televised it live from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. The chief incumbent of the Danture ancient Rajamahaviharya of Yatinuwara, Venerable Bulumulle Sri Dhamma Rakshita Buddha Rakshita Nayakathera
එවැගේම වැඩිහිටි වියේ පසු වෙන ඔබ හැම දිනමත් කල්පනා කරන්න. කල යුත්ත නියම වේලාවට එළඹ සිටි සිහියෙන් යුක්තව සිද්ධ කරන්න. එසේ සිද්ධ කිරීමෙන් බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේ දේශනා කළ කුසල් රජුරවන්ට ඔන්න ඔබේ ප්‍රශ්නයට පිළිතුර. මෙලව දියුණුවටත් පරලොව දියුණුවටත් හේතු වන උදාරතර ධර්ම පාඨය තමයි අප්‍රමාදය.
The Sadaham Sevana program of the National Rupavahini has televised from the All Ceylon Buddhist Association in Bauddhaloka Mawatha, Colombo.
President Mahinda Rajapaksa has requested everyone to make a commitment to grasp the Lord Buddha's message correctly and work towards establishing a national unity and religious reconciliation. Issuing a message on Vesak, the President says that it is a great blessing for being able to celebrate Vesak honorably by providing total state sponsorship for it. The 2600th Sri Sambuddhatva Jayanti dawned on the last Vesak full moon day. It was happy to know that the Buddhist people mustered together in respect of that. He says that it is with much happiness and love for Buddhism that we are remembering the Buddhist revival which took place with that on its anniversary. The President says that this happiness should get inculcated in the hearts of all Buddhists. The government is taking all steps for the promotion of Buddhism. The Prime Minister states that it is the Buddhist way of life that offers the clear path for the human being to enjoy life without problems. The opposition leader Ranil Wickremesinghe issuing a message on Vesak states that everyone should attempt to live according to Buddhism. Well, he calls upon the people to make a determination to nourish the life with good qualities of Buddhism. Well, in another message, the Secretary General of the United Nations, Ban Ki-moon, has also issued a message to mark Vesak Day. He says that this Vesak Day is being celebrated at a time the world community is getting ready to attend a development conference in Rio de Janeiro. The UN Secretary General points out that for this effort, many examples can be obtained from Buddhism. He points out that the Lord Buddha's teaching, that is changing of the world, is changing of the form of the human being, is critical knowledge about the development of the human world and the status of the human being. Accordingly, the actions of the human being can be changed for a better future, he says. He expresses the belief that the world community will use the Vesak Day to understand how this change could be created.
Meanwhile, devotees in their thousands flock to the temples to celebrate Vesak, and various religious programs have been organized throughout the country in respect of Vesak Full Moon Poya Day. The historical Mahayangana sacred area was filled with devotees since morning. They were participating in observations of Sil and offering alms. Several dansalas, lanterns and recital of Bhakti Gi have also been organized. Special religious programs are also being held at Rangiri Damburu Viharaya. The Pinkam ceremonies are organized by Dr. Venerable Dhanyagama Ananda Thera. The Sambuddhata Jayanti Viharaya chamber of the Bodhimala Viharaya in Rambuttukulama in Galgamu, constructed at a cost of 8 million rupees, has been declared open. The eyes of the 149 feet Lord Buddha statue in the reclining position were also unveiled. A Vesak zone is being held centering the Mulkirigala Rajamaha Viharaya. Several functions including Dhamma sermons had been organized for today. Vesak programs are being held in the temples of Polonnaru district as well. Devotees in their thousands arrived in the historical Gal Viharaya, Somavatiya, Dimbulagala, Mathurigiriya, Minneriya and Nagalakanda Aranya. A special Dhamma sermon was held yesterday at the Kuruppukanda People's Rest in Godagama, Hikkadua. It was delivered by the Chancellor of the Kalni University, Dr. Venerable Valmitiyave Kusaladhamma Thera. The Buddha statues of the Sri Jayasumanaram Viharaya in Kahataruppu Badulla was unveiled yesterday. Sri Lanka Rupahani Corporation and National Lotteries Board presented the Atapirikara for this Pinkama. A Sil observation program organized by the National Savings Bank was held at the bank headquarters. A large crowd, including the customers and retired officials of the bank, participated. The relics were taken from Halagala Ancient Viharaya to Kotikavatta Sri Nagarukarama Ancient Viharaya in Kandy. The Pinkama was held under the leadership of the chief incumbent of the Nagarukarama Viharaya, Venerable Badulle Mahanama Thera. The pinnacle of the Sri Sambuddhata Jayanti Chaitya of the Sri Jinavansharama Viharaya of Delgahavatta Angoda was unveiled. Several people's representatives and a large crowd attended the Pinkama. The Vattalpola Cattle Saving Committee of Panadura organized a Pinkama this year as well. It was held at the Vattalpola Sri Sudarshanarama Viharaya. The resting hall of the Katua Kale in Ambepussa was declared open today. It was constructed with financial assistance provided by the people of the area. The Ministry of Youth and Skill Development organized Atavisi Bodhi Puja. It was held at the Sariputra Viharaya in Narahempita.
Well, moving on to more local stories. President Mahinda Rajapaksa inspected the progress of the Upper Kotmale hydropower project this morning. The Deputy Prime Minister of Japan, Katsuya Okada, who is on an official visit to Sri Lanka, also joined the President in this inspection tour. The construction work of the Upper Kotmale hydropower project was delayed due to various reasons. Following the mediation of the President, it was started on the 3rd of March 2006. The Japan Bank for International Cooperation provided a concessionary loan for the project. The Electricity Board spent over 8,500 million rupees for this project. 495 families who lost their houses due to the project were provided with fully fledged houses. The project also consisted the longest tunnel of 12.9 kilometers. Its circumference is 5.2 meters. All machinery and power supply lines have been fixed now. The project consists of 2 power generators of 75 megawatts each. The first generator was commissioned on the 28th of last month, and power generated by it has been added to the national grid. The other generator will be commissioned in the first week of next month. The President was received at the project site by Minister Patali Champika Ranavaka. The President and the Japanese Deputy Prime Minister unveiled the plaque of the project. After that, the President and the Japanese Deputy Prime Minister declared open the sluice gates number 2 and 3 of the project. Several ministers and representatives from Japan attended the function.
ව්‍යාපෘතියට අදාළ වාර්තා වැඩසටහනක්ද මෙහිදී ඉදිරිපත් කරනු ලැබිය. මැති ඇමතිවරු සහ ජපාන නියෝජිත පිරිසක්ද මේ අවස්ථාවට එක් වූහ.
Meanwhile, Sri Lanka and Australia have taken steps to prevent illegal immigration and human trafficking. Representatives of both countries have come to a common agreement to take legal steps in this connection. This agreement has been reached during the visit to Sri Lanka of Australia's Minister for Immigration and Citizens Affairs, Chris Bowen. The Australian minister met the Deputy Minister for External Affairs, Newmal Pereira, in Colombo yesterday and discussed about this matter. Mr. Bowen appreciated the steps being taken by Sri Lanka for prevention of illegal immigration and human trafficking. It was also emphasized that both countries should take joint action to prevent human trafficking. The ministers focused attention on preventing the separatists indulging in publicity campaigns in Australia. They also discussed about strengthening bilateral naval activities. Bilateral air service agreement between the two countries was also signed.
Well, the former Archaeological Commissioner, Dr. Shiran Dharanegala, said that the excavation of red sand deposits in the northern province, which is as old as 500,000 years, should be carried out. He said that by excavations of sand deposits carried out in the South Asia, it has revealed very important factors about the oldest human civilizations. Mr. Dharanegala made these comments delivering a special lecture at the Postgraduate Institute. It is believed that human civilization started in Central Africa around 6 million years ago. It is also believed that 2 million years ago they migrated from Central Africa to other areas. Mr. Dharanegala said that in the world there are two eras, namely the cold and the war era, and at present we are in a war era. He said that during the cold eras, the water levels in the oceans freezing resulted in the expansion of the Earth's surface areas. He said that the red sand deposits in the coastal areas of this country is believed to have got deposited in such an era. He pointed out that by excavation of these deposits, many secrets relating to the human evolution can be found. The excavations in Bundala and Pathirajawala in the southern province started in 1972. From these excavations, many stone weapons used by the historic human being were found. The former Archaeological Commissioner, Dr. Shiran Dharanegala, said that these weapons reveal information about the oldest civilization of South Asia. In this area, a valley of stones used by prehistoric men for manufacturing stone weapons was also found. He said that if these archaeological objects were clearly identified, many contemporary opinions could change. Well, there are similar red sand deposits in South India as well, he says. He said that India has expressed willingness to excavate the red sand deposits in Sri Lanka. He further said that the technological development in Sri Lanka is not yet sufficient for undertaking these excavations, and hence international assistance should be sought for these excavation work. You're watching ru10 News. Time for a short break, and we'll be back with more local stories in a while.
Welcome back. We're still on local news. Japan has commended the progress being achieved in Sri Lanka. The Deputy Prime Minister of Japan, Katsuya Okada, has assured that Japan will continuously provide assistance for the development process of Sri Lanka. Mr. Okada, who is on a two-day official visit to Sri Lanka, met President Mahinda Rajapaksa at the Presidential Palace in Kandy yesterday. The President told the Japanese Deputy Prime Minister that the government is making all efforts for the upliftment of the life standards of people in the north and east who were battered by the Tiger terrorists for almost 3 decades. He said that the government is taking a development approach there. Already 60% of the problems faced by them have been solved. The President explained that 14,000 child soldiers who were under the clutches of the Tiger terrorists have been rehabilitated and integrated with their family members. The Japanese Deputy Prime Minister assured that he would present information obtained during his visit to North and East to the Japanese Parliament, and steps will be taken to ensure provision of continuous Japanese assistance to Sri Lanka. He expressed gratification for the assistance provided by Sri Lanka during the tsunami disaster faced by Japan. The Deputy Prime Minister invited President Rajapaksa to make an official visit to Japan. Mr. Okada came to Sri Lanka from Bangladesh in a Mihin Lanka flight. He said that he is willing to fly back to Japan in a Sri Lankan airline flight.
Well, talking of Sri Lankan Airlines, a sales branch of Sri Lankan Airlines has been opened in Jaffna with the objective of providing services to the people in Jaffna and Kilinochchi areas. The function was held under the patronage of Minister Douglas Devananda yesterday. Reservation of tickets and various other facilities can be obtained from this office. Several officials of Sri Lankan Airlines and the security services attended this function.
The triple event of Lord Buddha is being celebrated by giving priority to Amisa and Pratipatti pujas. In this connection, the city of Colombo has been decorated with pandals, lanterns and other illuminations. The Bauddha Lokamauta Vesak Zone, organized by the All Ceylon Buddhist Association, has commenced. It consists of several lanterns, pandals and other illuminations. This Vesak Zone will be held until the 8th of this month. The Sri Lanka Rupahani Corporation provides media sponsorship. The Puja Vesak Zone, organized by Dehiwala Mount Lavinia Municipal Council, started today. It is being held around SDS Jasingha grounds and will be held until the 10th of this month. The huge Buddhist flag created by K. Hemapala of Dematagoda will be on display at Baseline Road from today. This flag is 140 feet in length and 50 feet in width. The Golden Sports Association of Hokandara has organized a rice dancel. It is being held this year for the 13th time. The Vesak lanterns at the railway grounds in Ratmalana will be on display from today. This is the 37th year that they have erected this lantern. It has been erected based on several historical events of Buddhism. The lantern will be on display until the 13th of this month. The Police Bhakti recital was held at Police Divisional Headquarters in Colombo yesterday. The Buddha Bhivandana Bhatiki Saraniya program, organized by the Presidential Secretariat and the Ministry of Mass Media and Information, is now being held at the Nelumpokana Mahinda Rajapaksa International Performance Theatre. The Secretary to the President Lalit Weeratunga, Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa and Secretary of the Ministry of Mass Media W.B. Ganegala are attending this function. 20 institutions affiliated to the Ministry of Mass Media are participating in the Bhakti Gi program.
The World Buddhist Summit will be held in Colombo on the 8th of this month at the Nelumpokana Mahinda Rajapaksa Auditorium. Mahasangha from 39 countries will attend this summit. The Chief Sanghanayaka of Indonesia, Bhikkhu Chittagetu Thero, and other bhikkhus arrived in Colombo this evening. Well, the first summit will be held in Colombo, and the second summit in Kandy, and the third in Anuradhapura.
බාලි ඇතුළු විදේශ රටවල් රැසක ව්‍යාප්ත කිරීමට ලක්ද.
Well, that's it at home. Time for a short break. We'll be back with international stories in a while.
Let's take a look at news overseas now. A U.S. drone strike has killed at least 9 suspects militants in the volatile tribal areas of northwest Pakistan, says Pakistani officials. Drones often target Pakistan's tribal areas, thought to be the hub of Taliban cross-border insurgent activities. Pakistan has previously complained that such attacks violate its sovereignty. Security officials in North Waziristan told the AFP news agency that the compound which militants were using as a training center was completely destroyed. The U.S. does not normally comment on individual drone operations which have killed hundreds of people in recent years. In January, President Barack Obama confirmed for the first time that the covert program targets militants on Pakistan's soil. Those killed in the drone operations often indulge senior Al-Qaeda and Taliban leaders, as well as civilians and other militants.
Good evening. Welcome to the Sports News with me, Chamindi Samarasekara. The Director General of Sports, Mrs. Ranjani Jayakudi, said the track and field election was held successfully, accordance with the Sport Act. She said that although there was some unrest after the clarification made by the Minister of Sports, the election was held successfully. Director General of Sports, Mrs. Ranjani Jayakudi, said that one group who attended the election attempted to disrupt the elections. The legal position as per the Sports Act was explained to them, but they did not acknowledge it. At this moment, she said she had to suspend the election temporarily and called the minister and met him to announce the instructions. She said that she is thankful for the minister for attending the event and solving the problem. She added that after the minister's explanation, the election was held in the proper manner.
Thank you, Sharmindi. So along with Sharmindi, Clifford, myself and the entire Rupavahini News Division, we wish you a happy Vesak. Take care. Good night.
Good night.